Latest on Derek Groves' capture in Atlanta and the details of how it all went down, including that trustworthy tip. Let's go ahead and take a listen in.
Sheriff's Darlene, you come in a little. Okay. Marshals, we'll get y'all on the other side. Thank y'all.
All right, we are waiting for state police to give us an update, and officials, you can see they have all been assembled here to just give us details about the tip that came in. We're told it came from New Orleans. Credible information
I'm Colonel Robert
about his
Hodges,
whereabouts. Let's
Superintendent of Louisiana State Police. Almost 5 months ago, most of us in this same room met to discuss 10 inmates who escaped from the Orleans Parish Justice Center. We all had one focus: to capture the 10 escapees. Collectively, federal, state, and local law enforcement worked together seamlessly to locate and arrest these fugitives. Together, we leveraged investigative tools, technology, and good old-fashioned police work. Although many weeks have gone by, our 10th fugitive, Groves, remained at large. Law enforcement never lost sight during the investigation and our responsibility to bring a violent criminal back to prison. In early October 2025, task force personnel learned that Derek Groves was likely in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Through information gathered via multiple search warrants and other investigative means, detectives obtained digital evidence that Derek Groves was at a residence in Atlanta. Today, with the assistance of numerous law enforcement agencies, including the Atlanta Police Department and the U.S. Marshal Service, search warrants were executed at a residence in southwest Atlanta where Derek Groves was ultimately taken into custody. I want to personally thank the FBI, ATF, HSI, DEA, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Secret Service, the Attorney General's Office, State Probation and Parole, our LSP troopers and investigators, the New Orleans Police Department, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, the St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office, the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, and the Crime Stoppers of Greater New Orleans for their unwavering support of public safety. Together, we are stronger, and today marks the culmination of nearly 5 months of investigative work. As you look to the screen, to my right, your left, you will see the 10 escapees from the Orleans Parish Justice Center. All have been returned to correctional facilities where they no longer pose a threat to the residents and visitors of Louisiana. Next, you'll hear from our State Attorney General, Liz Murrill.
Thank you, Colonel. Today is a good day. Today, we were able to get the final escapee put back in jail to await further proceedings, and I'll walk you through what that's going to look like in just a minute. He has already been charged with 1 count of simple escape on June 30th, along with the other 9 defendants. He will be arraigned on those charges as soon as we get him back from Georgia. He will be taken to Angola, where we have continued to keep all of the other escapees at this time. Tomorrow, he'll see a magistrate judge in Georgia, where he will be able to waive extradition if he chooses to do so. If he doesn't choose to do so, then we will initiate extradition proceedings and eventually remove him back here to Louisiana, and the proceedings will continue. I think that there's some other folks here who could talk a little bit about some of the things that we located at the house at the time that he was arrested, taken back into custody. We do expect to examine whether we can upgrade the charges to aggravated escape in light of the material that they found, which included weapons and drugs. I want to walk you through just real quickly what his criminal history was. In 2019, he was convicted, he pled guilty on a DEA case involving guns and drugs. He was convicted in October 2024 on a 2018 double murder on Mardi Gras Day. That case involved 2 charges of second-degree murder and 2 charges of attempted second-degree murder. Jason Williams' office, I believe, handled all of that, all of those charges at the time. I think virtually the next day, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter for a different case. So he was awaiting sentencing for those matters, and he was scheduled for sentencing in December of 2024 when the judge at the time recused herself, and that triggered a number of proceedings to replace the judge in the case. For reasons that are still unclear, he still had not been sentenced up until May when he escaped. But I think the upshot of that is simply to remind you that this was a very dangerous individual. He is going to face jail time for a very, very long time, possibly, certainly life on the second-degree murders. Those he should have been sentenced to life in prison for, because that's the mandatory jail time for that. So he will also get additional time. We expect he'll be prosecuted in Georgia and possibly by the feds. So he's got a lot of trouble and a lot of things to answer to both the state of Louisiana and the state of Georgia. And I'd also point out that this has been extraordinarily taxing. You see all the law enforcement agencies who are up here who have been working diligently to try and get him back into custody. It's been expensive. It has been very scary for a lot of people, for staff at the DA's office, for victims and witnesses who might have been involved in some of these cases that implicated Derek Groves. So, you know, it's a very unsettling thing to have somebody out like this and not know where he is and when we're going to have him back in custody. So today is a very good day.
I would just like to echo what everyone said. It really is a great day that this was a peaceful resolve to this situation. Crime Stoppers was very proud and honored to be a part of this task force. What we saw an outpouring of support and concern and really just wanting to help by our community throughout this entire process. Thousands of tips were received through Crime Stoppers on the individuals who escaped. On Mr. Groves directly, several hundred have been received over this period for him with information. And what I do know, they were all vetted. So I want to thank the community for stepping forward, for sending the tips and the tip that came in regarding this particular location. But I also want to say something that y'all don't normally see in the public. It's the people standing behind me, the task force members, the law enforcement agencies who are calling, believe me, I know, in the middle of the night when they got information that they wanted to know more about. Working every hour for all of these months. And I'm just so impressed. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart as a nonprofit organization representing civilians. But I hope the public takes the opportunity to thank everyone standing here and their teams for the excellent job that they did. Thank you.
Chief Kirkpatrick.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. I want to share with you a little bit of a background. Last Friday, Director Reese Harper, our PIO that everybody knows over there, we had started an initiative, and we decided that on Fridays we were going to start putting out kind of like our most wanted on Fridays. And a clever name came up by Director Harper, and we call it Front Burner Fridays. So last Friday, Director Harper says to me in the hallway, I think we need to put Groves' name back out in front of the community. I said, well, great, I think so too. And he grabbed Darlene, Cassandra, and they did their Friday, Front Burner Friday, and put Groves' name out. And it was over this weekend that we did get a tip through Crime Stoppers. So, y'all, Crime Stoppers matters, but most importantly, the community is a true partner to us. So when we speak about team, that includes the community. So we want to thank you very much and appreciate it.
D.A. Williams.
On behalf of 2 prosecutors who tried this case with me, we tried it multiple times to get a conviction. On behalf of them, who worked tirelessly to get 12 out of 12 jurors to find him guilty is charged of a double homicide on Mardi Gras. On behalf of the witnesses who were brave enough to come forward, on behalf of the next of kin who still lived in the lower Ninth Ward during all those trials, I just want to say thank you to all of the law enforcement people who stayed on mission, who continued to work together. I know a lot of people in the public thought folks had given up. They thought this was over. But these men and women continued to work together, they stayed on mission, and they delivered for the people of this community. As I said, I tried this case personally. I was in that courtroom, so I was able to get to know the next of kin. And I just want you to all to understand that the children in this family who played sports in that park in the lower Ninth Ward have not been able to go out there during all of this time. Their lives have been shut down out of fear because they didn't know where this man was. And the men and women of these different agencies have given them their lives back. And that is extraordinary. And I was talking to the next of kin a few weeks ago, and she was still trembling. And so I know that today there's a lot of gratitude in that family home that was shot up on that Mardi Gras day. And I also want to just say to the public, thank you. It was your tips. You are one of the most important pieces of this puzzle because you step up when you call in, when you provide that tip, when you show up in court. That's what makes this happen. So I can't thank the public enough for doing its part and making sure that New Orleans is a safer place. And I want to thank God because the fact that someone did not get hurt during this man's time on the lam, and the fact that no law enforcement individuals were injured or hurt, that's just the grace of God. Thank you.
Sheriff Hudson.
Thank you, Colonel. I'm not going to rename all of the agencies that helped here, but they're here up here at this dais, and I am grateful for them. That's my word for today, just grateful. Thankful for all this help we got. Grateful that they're all back in custody. We look forward to him being sentenced and moving on to prison where he belongs. But again, want to just thank all of our partners and agencies for sharing information, making sure this could happen, and we can all move forward with our lives. I know that the grass is a little greener, the sky a little bluer for everybody today. Thank you.